Hey everybody, this is going to be another trucking video. I want to talk to the new drivers, the ones that are just getting into the industry. You've got your CDL, you've picked the company you want to work for, and maybe you're still on the trainer's truck, maybe you're just off the trainer's truck, maybe you've been first seat for a few months, a year now. You're still feeling it out, you're still learning the industry. You're looking around you and you're seeing what people are doing, young and old, and it's really hard to tell now by looking at people who's been in the industry a long time and who's just getting into it. We have so many people that have come from other jobs, other careers, and come into trucking. Some have been retired and came here, and they look pretty grizzled. And you might look at them and say, that guy, he must have been around since B Model Max. Yeah, possibly not. Possibly they retired and they've only been driving for a year and a half for self. So, take that into consideration when you hear and you see on some of the closed groups on Facebook for trucking, the argument between new breed and old breed. So to start with, I want to tell you, you can't tell anymore who's new breed and who's old breed just by appearance. People look at me just by the way I keep myself, the way I carry myself, the way I dress, that I'm probably a new driver. I probably don't have a lot of experience out here. They don't realize that I've been driving since 2000. There's some guys out here walk around and they look grizzled and look like they've been here a long time, and you talk to them and find out, it's their first year driving. They've only been driving 6 months. So you've got to decide, well, first off, new breed and old breed, it's a mentality. It's like old school and new school. So there's a mentality that goes behind it. When we talk about old breed and new breed, it's more of how you conduct yourself. How do you behave out here? How do you behave behind the wheel? How do you present yourself? There was a time when trucking was considered a very noble job. We were considered knights of the highway. People looked up to us. People respected us. And over time, that has changed to the point now where people don't want to be associated with the industry at all. They don't want to drive. And the average age of the driver keeps getting older, and we're having a harder time attracting new people into the industry because of the reputation. So the new breed driver, my take on it is they're selfish. They're not willing to help you. They're the ones that are always tailgating. They're always cutting out of traffic. They're always cutting people off. They're out here dressing like they're homeless bums or vagrants. They have no pride in their appearance. They're always mouthy. They're always the one telling the loudest, most grandiose stories at the counter. They're the ones that give your fleet managers and load planners a hard time. They're the ones always running down DOT. They're the ones that leave their trash out in the parking lots, never clean their truck. Oftentimes, I would say a new breed driver, you can smell them before you see them. They don't care to learn anything about the truck and the trailer. They don't care to learn any basic fundamentals of mechanics. They won't run a radio. To save their life, they won't run a CB. And they're just all about their self. The old school or the old breed driver, the old school driver, is the opposite of all that. So you got to decide now, early on, which path you want to take. You can look around and just common sense and common decency and a sense of character will tell you by looking at people and how they behave. Is that what you want to be like? Is that how you want to represent yourself? Is that how you want to represent the industry? Because guys, you represent all of us. Everything you do out here, you represent all of us. See, the 10%, every occupation has their 10% that gives it a bad name. But with our industry, the 10% in the public eye seems like 90%. This is why trial lawyers have been able to use this tactic called the reptilian tactic in front of juries to sway a jury by invoking emotions of anger or fear. And the jury then bypasses the higher level of reasoning and goes to the reptilian part of the brain, which is fight or flight. So they're awarding these ridiculous jury awards. And one of the tactics they use is, well, every one of you have been on the highway and you've been tailgated by a big truck. And when you look in your mirror, all you can see is that tractor trailer's grill. How'd that make you feel? You were scared. They do stuff like that. But that reflects on all of us. So you got to make a decision. How do you want to be known? How do you want to mark yourself in the career? How do you want to make a name for yourself out here? I'm going to tell you, it's very easy to establish a reputation, but it's very hard to overcome a bad reputation. You can establish a very good reputation to start with, but it's very easy to tarnish that good reputation and never be able to overcome it with the company you're at. It's also, once you have a bad reputation, if that's what you started with, if you started with a bad reputation, it's very difficult with that company to overcome it and end up having a good reputation. So you're better off to do what you need to do to set up a good one. Now, some pointers to do that is, things are going to go wrong. They're going to go bad. They're not going to go your way. Don't always assume your fleet manager has it out for you. Don't always assume that the load planner has it out for you. Don't always assume that they did it to you on purpose. Don't automatically assume that they lied to you. Things happen. One thing I've learned in 20-some years in the trucking industry, not just as a driver, but as a mechanic and working as an insurance agent with strictly trucking business, is things go wrong quickly. You get a load, 15 minutes later, the broker or the shipper cancels the load. You guys, it's just, you never know. Sometimes your fleet manager's got no idea why what happened just happened. Oftentimes they're just a middleman. So don't always, give them some grace, give them some patience. Even if you're angry and you're just spitting fire mad, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes to just cool down, simmer down before you pick up the phone. There's never a reason to call and cuss and fuss and threat. You will mark yourself forever with that company as a hothead, and when you'll lose a lot of opportunity for things to be made right. Another way to do it is take care of your personal appearance and how you present yourself. It's very easy to very quickly get out of shape, become obese. It's very easy to just, I'm by myself all day in the truck. I don't care what I look like. I'm not dressing up for you. Well, no, you're not dressing up just for you. You're not dressing just to impress people for you. You're dressing to represent you, your company, and the industry as a whole. Nobody likes having to deal with DOT. It's a fact of life. They're never going to go away. It's how you deal with them and how you present yourself to them oftentimes determines on how your day is going to go with them. So if you keep your truck clutter free, guys, don't have a bunch of junk up on the dash, don't have a bunch of stuff up on the windshield, look like you take care of yourself. Don't automatically have a bad attitude when they stop you on don't be like, what'd you stop me for? Throw a whole attitude with them. Just be respectful. I'm not even going to say use yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Just be respectful. And just be matter of fact with them. You can judge pretty quickly if they have a sense of humor and if you can joke with them or not. But they're not all out to get you. I've had numerous times where I've been stopped, just random inspection, or there was something wrong in the computer and they thought maybe a DOT number was, or if it was revoked and it wasn't. That was a 6-month hassle with different scales. But, I can only think of a couple times where I've had DOT really be a bear. Most of the time they haven't been. You could talk to them and engage them in conversation. A lot of them would rather educate you than punish you. Now, if you're just grossly in violation, you're just out of luck. If you got some minor violations, maybe they'll educate you instead of punish you. Maybe they'll punish you but still educate you. But still, they've got a job to do that's mandated by the state legislator and by FMCSA, which is a department of the U.S. DOT. They've got a job, we got a job. We do our job right. Our job's easier, their job's easier, we're not getting tickets. So, just set the course, guys. You're going to be a professional, you're going to be a steering wheel holder. Learn about your truck, learn about your trailer, learn about basic principles of wiring, how a bad ground affects your lights or how to change a light. I mean, that's, hang a mud flap, carry a few simple tools. You can save yourself a lot of time and your company a lot of money, and it saves you money. So you pick up a trailer with a missing mud flap and you can't hang one yourself. You don't know how to even hang one that's been torn off. You don't have the tools for it. Now you got to wait 4 hours for a service truck to come up, and now you're a day late on that load. And you lose the next load, and it's a domino effect. Just because of that, man, you guys could cost yourself $400 or $500 that week. So there's things you can do, simple, basic maintenance things, like check your own oil on a regular basis, like you're supposed to in your pre-trip. Know how to add it. Know how to check your belts. Look for signs of wear, so you can catch little problems before they're great big problems and have you shut down. Companies will notice these things. When you notice a problem on your plan and your pre-plans, your trip plans, let them know immediately. There's no such thing as over-communication. They might joke with you, say, "Oh man, you just tell me way too much." But the more information you can give your company, the more accurately and the better they can plan you, the more productive you can be. Not all companies are good like that. You might have to hunt and peck to find one. But really, guys, the point is, in the early stages of your driving career, you really need to decide which path you want to take. Are you going to be a new breed steering wheel holder? Are you going to be more of an old school professional? Just look at people you see around the truck stop or the shipper and receiver. Make up your mind who you want to be, how you want to be known. Gravitate towards those people. Stay away from the ones that are not what you want to be. Find the ones that are willing to talk to you, willing to help you, willing to teach you, impart some wisdom to you. There's a lot of us out here that have no problem helping a new guy. And have no problem helping someone that's been around the industry for a long time. Yesterday was a great example. This load I picked up, this crazy John Deere load's got bunch of different parts to it. There's a driver from another company who's an owner-operator. He'd been out here 30 years. And we were helping each other on securing the loads. Never met the guy before. I may never see him again. But when you combine your pool of knowledge, it helps. So just determine now where you want to be. Learn about the industry, learn what happens, learn what makes things happen. Learn cause and effect. Learn about the lanes and the market and how it impacts your customers and stuff. Pick up industry publications or read them online. But educate yourself and become knowledgeable in the industry, not just on the aspect of driving. Learn about the insurance markets. Learn about the law enforcement aspect of it. Learn about the 3PLs, brokers, logistics end of it. Learn about the warehousing. Learn about some of the local laws and ordinances and state laws and federal that impact what we do. The more knowledge you have, the better informed you are and the better you can do your job. The more prepared you are when you get to an area and you're not surprised. But I encourage you all, regardless of how your trainer behaved, and regardless of how you're treated by your company, to establish it in your mind and establish it in your heart that you're going to be a step above, that you're going to take this job seriously, that you're going to be a professional about it, that you're not going to look like a homeless vagrant that just throws the truck down the road and doesn't really care about anybody. Have some courtesy, some professionalism. A couple seconds here or there on the road to slow down or move over, it's not going to make a difference at the end of the day, guys. It really won't. I don't care if you're a 65-mile-an-hour truck, 62 or 80-mile-an-hour truck. Losing a couple minutes to let somebody over, slow down, wait for some traffic to pass, it's not going to impact the end of your day at all. I promise you. So just decide which way you want to go. And I'll tell you this. If you decide you just don't care, get out. Leave the industry. We don't need any more like you here. If you want to be a professional, welcome. Find people like myself that are willing to talk to you, help you, and teach you. Good luck. Be safe. Keep the rubber side down.